CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Sanjay Maru. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with details on Windsor's fourth homicide of 2025. Police calling this a fatal incident of intimate partner violence. It was around 3 o'clock this morning when Windsor police spotted a vehicle driving dangerously near Chatham Street East and Goyo Street. Officers say when they pulled the driver over for stunt driving, they noticed the man's face and body was covered in dried blood. Investigators then followed the trail to a home on Langlois Avenue, just north of Lansbury Park, where they found a 26-year-old woman without vital signs. She was rushed to hospital and later pronounced dead. Police have charged a 29-year-old man with first-degree murder and say his name will be released after his first court appearance. Police say this incident underscores the devastating impact of intimate partner violence, which has been declared an epidemic in Windsor and more than 100 other municipalities across Ontario. Reaction to this has been pouring in all over social media, including a statement from Hiatus House, which provides support and shelter for women fleeing abuse. They point out this incident falls on the same day as the death anniversary of Lori DuPont, who was killed in 2005 by her ex-husband at Hotel Dieu Grace Hospital. Anyone with information about this, the city's fourth homicide of 2025, can contact Windsor Police or Crime Stoppers anonymously. Turning now to a joint investigation between officers in Windsor and provincial police. They're reporting the largest fentanyl seizure in the history of the OPP. 46 kilograms of suspected fentanyl seized in Windsor with a street value of about $6.5 million. Officers identified two people believed to be primary members of a drug trafficking network, both with ties to known criminal organizations. A 25-year-old Windsor man, Nicholas Kong, is facing 27 charges, and 28-year-old Joshua Aguirre from Vancouver is facing 29 charges. Police searched 4 houses and 3 vehicles. Other drugs, cash, and weapons were seized in addition to the fentanyl. The bust follows a year-long investigation called Project Rotherham, targeting a major drug trafficking network with ties to organized crime. OPP estimate this seizure keeps about 460,000 street-level doses out of the community, saving hundreds of thousands of lives.
Criminal networks are here to exploit our communities and areas within our communities where they believe that there will be financial gain. There was a large seizure here, and we were able to remove that from being trafficked within the community of Windsor and surrounding area.
OPP are investigating fraud related to RV sales in Tilbury. Police say they've received several complaints from people who have had vehicles for sale on consignment or were storing vehicles at a business in the 20,000 block of County Road 42. But when the victims went to retrieve their RVs, they were no longer on the property. Police say the investigation is ongoing and are urging anyone who may be a victim and has not yet reported the matter to contact OPP. Well, new tonight, nonprofit organization Windsor Essex Pride Fest has announced it has severed ties with its president. The group says Wendy Nicholson has resigned from the position following comments she made yesterday morning on AM 800 about transgender athletes that many say were harmful and misinformed. In a statement, the organization says while severing ties with Nicholson is an important first step, there is more they can do, but self-reflection and further changes will take time. CTV's Travis Fortnam now on the swift backlash to Nicholson's comments.
It hits a sore spot. I know I'm probably going to get raked over the coals for what my opinion is.
Speaking on AM 800's mid-morning show Tuesday, Windsor Essex Pride Fest President Wendy Nicholson weighing in on whether transgender women should be allowed to compete in women's Olympic events. Her take sparking instant backlash online. Comments many in the community say were deeply misinformed and harmful.
I was incredibly disappointed that a leader of a pride association would share those views, would even have those views.
Marty Panis is herself a transgender athlete, a cross-country runner, and inclusion advocate. She says she saw Nicholson's remarks and the community's reaction spread quickly across social media Tuesday night.
We have our many battles in society of just existing and trying to live our lives without having to fight within our own community to include us.
CTV News reached out to Nicholson Wednesday but did not hear back. Tuesday afternoon, as her remarks began circulating online, she posted a short statement on social media acknowledging the backlash, saying in part, "I gave my opinion and I do try to speak for the 2S LGBTQIA+ as best as I can." That post was later deleted. Nicholson has served as Pride Fest president for at least 6 years, the organization itself releasing a statement calling her comments shocking and disappointing, adding they do not reflect the values, beliefs, or position of Windsor Essex Pride Fest. The board connecting with Trans Wellness Ontario and local advocates to guide next steps. Panis agrees that leadership like this should model inclusion.
My overall view is that anybody who is in a leadership position, particularly for an organization like Pride, should not hold these views, period, because they are there to advance inclusion.
Requests for further comment from Windsor Essex Pride Fest went unanswered Wednesday. Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
An update from police now after Unifor Local 195 President Emil Nabout said 3 members were struck Monday by a transport truck at Titan Tool and Die. Police say they have now closed the investigation at Titan Tool. No charges were laid. The workers have been locked out since mid-August in an ongoing labor dispute about the future of the auto parts factory. The union describing the workers' injuries as, quote, not serious, but said they were taken to hospital. Well, a group of University of Windsor students are adding to their workload, tackling Windsor's opioid crisis. As CTV's Michelle Molesky shows us, they're organizing citywide naloxone training sessions and trying to help those in recovery rebuild their lives.
Windsor's opioid crisis is easy to see.
People go downtown. They see that there's people out there in need, but they might not actually know what to do or how to help them.
And the worst part about it is that people complain about it and they don't know what to do, and nobody's going to do anything, so why not me?
Members of U Windsor's Enactus have launched Second Rise.
They all come with 2 doses.
They want to train more people, first on campus and then citywide, on how to use naloxone, a medication that can reverse the effect of a drug overdose. Enactus also wants to mirror what the Canadian Red Cross teaches about stigma for those who consume harmful narcotics.
Where people don't want to help. They think that they shouldn't have to help people who did that to themselves, which is so wrong.
They hope to organize training sessions in the next 2 months.
And knowing how to use Narcan is a perfect start, because it can, if someone's having an overdose, for example, they get that you can get that extra few minutes for them until like paramedics arrive and hopefully save a life.
Then, early in 2026, ENACT is rolling out a program to help recovering addicts get meaningful work with a partnership at House of Sofrosine.
So I'm in contact with an individual. She's wonderful. She was saying there's about 7 individuals who are interested in working with us for our pilot program whenever that does launch.
Second Rise is one of 3 projects now underway by U Windsor's Enactus. This group is also tackling converting invasive Phragmites into bug-repellent products and sending a team of students to mentor the next generation of business leaders. At the University of Windsor, Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Residents in Windsor's Ward 1 had their chance tonight to weigh in on some of the neighborhood's most pressing issues.
We have to ensure that you keep more money in your pockets, because more people, more levels of government, not even the municipal level, is taking more of that money out of your pockets.
More than 40 people attending the ward meeting at the Capri Pizzeria Recreation Complex. Questions surrounded recycling pickups, the new Roseland Clubhouse, and speed cameras. City Councillor Fred Francis is one of the few councillors hosting a meeting for his ward only rather than a combined session with another ward. A recurring theme tonight was how Ward 1 plans to add housing without hurting the neighborhood.
There's a disconnect in what works province-wide or what works in the Toronto area than what works in Windsor. And as councillors, as elected officials, we're trying to navigate that disconnect, and we're trying to strike a balance that protects our neighborhoods and is growth that makes sense, that doesn't take away from neighborhoods, but adds to the distinctiveness of our separate neighborhoods throughout the city.
Many of us are trying to watch our money these days, and now you may want to keep a closer eye on the gas pump the next time you buy fuel. That's because one driver in Ontario says after he finished pumping his gas, the meter kept running even though no fuel was coming out. CTV's Pat Foran explains.
It's something many of us have to do every week, stop to fuel up at a gas station. In mid-August, Sergey Alexandrov of Vaughan says he was buying fuel when something strange happened.
As I was taking out the pump, the numbers kept running on the meter without any gas being dispensed. I caught that on video.
Holding his phone in one hand and the gas pump nozzle in the other, it clearly shows the liter and dollar amount continue to increase even though no fuel was being dispensed.
It was a worrying situation because the meter kept running and it's like as if I'm being scammed out of my money. So the first thing going through my head, oh my gosh, I need to record this because nobody's going to believe me.
Alexandrov says he was unable to get answers from the gas station as to what happened. After 2 months of questioning customer service, he was offered a gift card and a refund of his gas purchase. He feels he was overcharged less than 50 cents, but is concerned it may have happened to other customers as well.
But what was going through my mind is all the people that pumped the gas before me, how many extra overcharge did they collect from that?
It's clear that the machine is malfunctioned. And machines don't normally do that, but when they do, they can make awfully big mistakes.
Gas expert Dan McTagg says he doesn't suspect foul play or tampering. It says it appears the gas pump had a mechanical failure. He says pumps are monitored for accuracy and that something like this happening is very rare.
But they are state of the art and they don't normally make mistakes.
When CTV News reached out to Petro-Canada, its parent company, Suncor, said, "We worked to resolve the issue as soon as it was brought to our attention, and the pump was taken out of service immediately for maintenance. We regularly inspect our on-site equipment, including pumps, to ensure everything is in working order." Alexandrov says he just wanted a straight answer.
I just want to make sure that nobody else gets affected by this.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Still ahead, police say an Ontario man stole a public transit bus, then drove the route like normal, making stops along the way. The details next on Windsor's News Leader. And CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now for a look at the forecast. Gary, it looks like these cold and windy conditions are continuing.
Tonight, still cold and blustery. I think, Sanjay, we could still be in those wind gusts between 50 to 60 kilometers per hour, even just past midnight. We'll get a bit of a reprieve, just say before dawn tomorrow morning, and then back into a windy morning and early afternoon before things start to subside. Reached a high close to 10 degrees Celsius between Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Canada. Our average is 9, and our low today at 1.8 degrees Celsius, in line with the 1.6. So things starting to normalize, at least statistically, but it felt a lot colder because of those winds out of the northwest, and this same system that has been lingering still is putting some snow down in parts of southeastern and northern central Ontario, with rains right across the heart of southern Ontario through the Golden Horseshoe. There is a slight chance of very isolated rain showers through the overnight, but I think we'll see it clearing. Still windy out of the northwest. We'll be in and out of some intermittent high-level clouds that won't mean any real precipitation over the next 24 hours, and I think we'll see sunshine for the most part. But before we get there, we'll get down to about 1 degree, might even say 0 degrees, even -1 in some parts of extreme southwestern Ontario, as you see here. We're projecting +1, though, is likely. Chilly, yes, windy, and a clear night for the most part. Those winds still out of the northwest, sustained at around 20 kilometers per hour, with wind gusts in the 40s through the late morning and midday, as you see here. We'll see 8 or 9 degrees in the late afternoon. And as mentioned, those winds subsiding, but still breezy through to about 4 p.m. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. Daily highs and lows anticipated. Windy, yes, but sunny. more sunshine. Friday, not as windy, 9, then 10 degrees, and then up to 13 by Saturday, although a cloudy Saturday it will likely be. Showers Sunday, 11 degrees, then 8, 7, and 8 respectively. Monday, Tuesday through Wednesday, cloudy to start off the work week for most. And those temperatures by next week, a week from now, will be seasonal. We'll just be getting colder, as you would expect, as we get deeper into the fall season.
Residents in Lakeshore have started a petition against the proposed development of Oakwood Park. So far, the petition has garnered more than 1,800 signatures. The municipality says they've received many passionate messages from residents asking the plan be reconsidered. Mayor Tracy Bailey says the expression of interest process for the park has been paused until council can give new direction. A general information and engagement session is still being held on Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Atlas Tube Recreation Center. A man in Hamilton, Ontario is facing charges after allegedly stealing a public transit bus last night. Police say he took the bus on a joyride and even stopped to pick up and drop off passengers along the way. CTV's Allison Hurst has the details.
A full-sized bus similar to this one is what was taken for that joyride.
That's honestly crazy. It reminds me of the movie Speed. That's insane. That's crazy.
Hamilton police say it happened around 9 p.m. last night when the driver got out to take a break. The suspect got in. The 36-year-old drove a bus similar to this along the route, stopping at scheduled stops, letting riders on and off freely.
One person was looking to board the bus at the time and was turned away because their pass was invalid, and the driver made them pay the actual fare.
The joyride took the bus up Hamilton Mountain, with officers tailing it before bringing it to a stop on West 5th Street.
It comes off comically, but at the same time, it is a really serious matter. The person was driving a full-size HSR bus on our roads. There's pedestrians. There was at least 10 passengers on board at the time.
The entire incident lasted about 15 minutes.
You put them in jail.
I say it was crazy, especially when the bus driver's right there almost.
It was very dangerous for the passengers.
A statement from the city's transit division reads in part, "The safety of transit riders and HSR operators is our primary focus, and we are grateful that no one was hurt. We are fully cooperating with the Hamilton Police Service to understand how this incident occurred, and staff will work to implement any changes that would help prevent similar incidents in the future."
We're thankful there was no injuries, there was no collision. This person took a full-size HSR bus under their own control, and we're thankful that it wasn't more serious than it was.
Police say he was arrested on West 5th near Gateview Drive. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
Turning now to our monthly Crime Stoppers report, we return to a scam that might sound familiar. Here's CTV's Melanie Kentner and Constable Rick Surratt now with new information about how criminals are targeting seniors in Windsor, Essex.
Yeah, you may have heard of grandparent scams, but Crime Stoppers is here to tell us the latest. So what's been happening lately?
Well, local police services informed Crime Stoppers that there's been an uptick in grandparent scams recently. Since October 22nd, there's been over 12 reported occurrences in Essex County, with victims losing $70,000 in total.
So that sounds like a lot. And for those who don't know, what is a grandparent scam?
Well, fraudsters target elderly members of the community by calling their landline, and they pretend to be a loved one or a police officer, a crown, or a member of the justice system requiring urgent bail money to get the loved one out of jail.
And how do they operate?
Well, they usually they get background information from the victims, either through social media or through malware or some sort of security breach. And they may even, at times, we've seen where they use voice AI to sound like the loved one, or that they may even use telephone number spoofing, so they're calling from a number that doesn't even exist.
And what's the best way for people to protect themselves?
Well, don't get intimidated by technology that they use, because they are quite clumsy in the way that they use a bail courier. That just simply does not exist in Canada or any democratic society. The use of a bail courier to come to the house for urgent bail money just doesn't exist. So that's a big red flag. But the second thing is, if they call, hang up, call the police, or call a family member to confirm that this is in fact a lie.
And remind us again, what's the best way to contact Crime Stoppers?
Well, you can call us at 1-800-222-TIPS or reach out to us on our website at catchcrooks.com.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rick. And that's your Crime Stoppers report.
Canada's main stock index was up on strength in gold prices. The TSX is up 418 points in New York. The Dow adds 327. The Nasdaq down 62. The Canadian dollar falling a third of a cent today. Gold gains almost $100 an ounce, while oil drops about $2.50 a barrel. A potential lockout or strike at the John McGivney Children's Center has been averted. The center says they and the union representing its frontline staff, OPSU Local 170, have reached a tentative agreement, and both parties remain hopeful that it will be ratified in the coming days. JMCC and their staff support more than 3,000 children and youth annually with services like physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech-language therapy, and autism supports. The union previously argued chronic underfunding and low wages made recruitment and retention challenging. Well, the Northern Lights made a celestial splash last night, and many Canadians were able to take pictures of the colorful images. It's all a direct result of powerful bursts of energy from the sun. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth now with more on the aurora activity that continues to capture our imaginations.
When Tiffany Fields looked outside late last night, she saw the colorful display of the Northern Lights in the Nova Scotia sky.
It was just pink and red and glowing, and it was incredible.
The Northern Lights are solar storms that happen when electrically charged particles from the sun collide with gases in the Earth's atmosphere. An astronomy technician at St. Mary's University, Fields was ready to capture the moment with countless pictures on her phone.
And I could see the faint green glow in my camera, and I was just so excited.
So was Mark Perkin, who lives on Nova Scotia's Big Tancook Island and shot this photo.
When we get the Northern Lights coming out like that, so strong and lighting up the entire sky, we can walk out our front door and it's right there. You got the ocean, you got the sky, and you don't know where one ends and the other begins.
This geomagnetic storm was so strong, so powerful. People saw the Northern Lights here in Canada, as far south as Florida, through the state of Texas, on the west coast in California, and in numerous states in the U.S. Midwest.
It was very strong, produced a lot of colors in the sky that were very high in altitude and then sort of able to be seen for hundreds of kilometers along the northern horizons.
Fields says there's another solar storm coming tonight, and she hopes it's as stunning as Tuesday's experience. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Well, as Christmas draws ever so near, volunteers with groups such as LaSalle Gives Back and Essex Goodfellows will be on the streets collecting donations for Christmas campaigns.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Thank you.
The LaSalle Firefighters Association and other volunteers will be hitting the streets starting Thursday for the second annual LaSalle Gives Back. The funds support local nonprofits and youth assistance organizations. The campaign runs from Thursday to Saturday. More than $66,000 was raised in the first year of the fundraiser. The Essex Goodfellows, meanwhile, will also be out for 2 days collecting donations Friday and Saturday. Look out for them on street corners in Harrow, Essex, Paquette Corners, and Maidstone. All money collected will help the food banks in Essex. Both organizations will be distributing newsletters and accept cash donations. Gary is back with a final look at weather. Gary.
Sanjay, still windy tonight. Overnight, a clearing, but windy through the morning, early afternoon. And those gusts in the 40s. We got as high as the mid-50s, low 60s in some parts. But sunny, though. Look at this. The icon showing a bright end to the work week, and then the weekend, for some who have it off, will be milder. And notice the rain showers Sunday will cool off and be seasonal next week, Monday through Tuesday, Wednesday, mid to upper single digits. The lows could be in the minuses through the overnight tonight, technically tomorrow morning, and then again early Friday morning. So watch out. for icy patches. We saw that over the last few days. Salt and sanding. Those are things we should keep in mind at this time of the year as we get into, well, the latter stage of fall, and winter's just around the corner, of course. Let's look at your weather. Have yourselves a good night. Sanjay?
You as well, Gary. Thank you. Windsor's Hotel Dieu Grace is gearing up for a fun evening to benefit mental health care and addiction programs. The Big Party returns this Friday at the Chicharo Club. The themes for the night are connection, awareness, and philanthropy. The Big Party is the signature fundraising gala for the Hotel Dieu Grace Foundation, and this year's Table Challenge supports the construction of a new outdoor playground for children receiving care. There are still some tickets available. And I'm sure the winner of this will throw themselves a big party. The winner of a stateside lottery jackpot approaching $1 billion. My goodness. The estimated prize for Friday's Mega Millions drawing is $965 million. And that's because no ticket matched all 6 numbers last night. The estimated cash payout is $445.3 million. Friday's drawing will be the 40th since the last win on June 27th, a game record. The odds of winning are 1 in more than 290 million, but the odds of winning any Mega Millions prize are 1 in 23. And that is your news for tonight. Thank you so much, as always, for watching this edition of Windsor's News Leader. Don't forget, for news anytime, go to our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at 6 and 11.